Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End. And okay, in theory, I should be live on Rumble, but I have no idea. Y'all, you know, this is a dumpster fire of me trying to learn technology. So I thought I set it up right, but I'm looking at the thing and it says I'm on live or oh, who knows what's going on. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I did. Now I'm hearing myself, which is confusing to me. Daggone it. Whatever. This continues to be a dumpster fire on top of Chernobyl. It just is. It just is because, so yes, I am trying. Think I have officially figured out how to do the rumble as per usual. The kids are getting the last of the Halloween candy. That's why we know that it's too early for Christmas songs because, we aren't down to like Pixie Sticks and Smarties. That's when you know that it's almost Thanksgiving. Good evening, Flux and Kim and AC Wildflower. And Eris, thank you so much for doing all the Mahdi stuff because goodness knows I am only fumbling towards purgatory. But the most important news today comes from our good friend Reindeer. And yes, you are not crazy. The squirrels are extra fluffy this year. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Look, I'm just getting ready for hibernation. That's all there is. I am not extra fluffy. I am just getting ready for a very long hibernation. Yes, it worked. Okay, I figured it out. Now I just need 8 more, screens and a whole lot more ADHD. Good evening, This Way Up and Ghostery. So, yes, Reindeer sent this story. Uh, if the squirrels have seemed a bit chunkier this winter, it's probably because they actually are. Now, l it's not their fault. Food is yummy. It's not. The reason for the recent thickening is simple. According to experts in North America and Britain, unseasonably warm weather has given squirrels in both regions more time to find food, leading to localized population of double-wide nut hunters in cities like Toronto and Cardiff. That's it. There's going to be a moat. I am going to have alligators with lasers. Yeah. Gemini the witch, I'm telling you, it's just hibernation, it's not our fault. We're simply getting ready for winter. If only all of ours would melt, and then we'd be super skinny in the summer or spring, it would just work. Quote, "We've had a really warm November," David Sugarman of the Ontario Science Centre told Metro Toronto. "Naturally, if you're an animal that's got to make it through winter with little to no food, you wanna pack on as much fat as possible." I'm telling you, it's not my fault. Well, that's the cat bed that we stole, so I'm probably going to have to invest in a new bed fairly soon. In the UK but in the UK, last month wasn't just the warmest December on record. Now, I know things are different, but the UK isn't in December yet. But okay. On record, but the wettest, resulting in an increased population of squirrel favorites like acorns. Okay, I think they meant last year. Hope I don't know. Whoever is your editor, the dodo, you might wanna get them checked out. It's not that they're working very well. It's been a very odd and unusual year, naturalist Lola Williams told the BBC squirrels will eat anything, they're omnivores. So I would imagine non native gray squirrels, unfortunately, will do very well this summer. Look, they're just fluffy. They just look like big old fluffy now I want one. Oh my god, that's the size that that is a crazy giant squirrel. But, one good thing about them getting super fat is that they're not skinny enough to then get into our cars. Despite the mothballs and the essential oils and the dryer sheets and everything else, our squirrels are plotting to take out my brakes. Look, I don't know what I did to small woodland creatures in a past life, but this is the second time they've done tried to get my brakes. So, fat squirrels cannot get into your engine block as easily. Lucky squirrels self-regulate their body weight, and this year's extra ounces are unlikely to have any lasting health effects. Quote, "If a squirrel was able to stay chubby all year round, it might decrease its longevity." Yeah, Fry might actually get one or one of the cats. Said Sugarman. But eventually the snow is going to come and the cold weather will increase and they're going to burn off some of that extra fat. Look, that's what I tell myself every winter, and I don't buy a winter coat thinking that maybe just, running in and out of stores will help me shed weight. I don't understand why this isn't working. I have had a talk with my body. No, we just live very rural and, right next to a forest reserve and other things, and I think that the squirrels just they need shelter and they wanna live in our engine blocks for some reason. In the southern United States, however, this winter has actually been colder than usual due to El Niño. It hasn't been winter yet. I am confused with all you people. It is still fall. Imma need you all to stop pushing Christmas on me. I have not done anything. Usually, I am halfway done with shopping at this time because I am too type A to survive. But this year has been just no. So I need no hastening of the Christmas times, okay? So if southern squirrel watchers spot an impressively pudgy specimen, it's probably because everything is bigger than Texas. Girl, same. Ma'am, same. Just the same. I've decided to get back on the low carb wagon and now I'm like, and I have to be kind to people? This is not gonna work. Cut carbs, keep kindness. This is gonna be a really long weekend. But I felt better, so it all works out in the end. Our next story, in a blast from the past, O.J. Simpson murder trial judge is now supporting the judicial campaign of a prosecutor he once cited for contempt after tempers flared in court. Oh my gosh, do I remember this trial in middle school. I mean, the teachers would put this on, we all listened to the verdict, and even then I was like, "How in the world did that happen? How is he not guilty?" I mean, didn't we all agree that he's basically the only person that wanted Nicole Brown kinda gone-ish? Then the ding dong writes a book like, "What if I had done it?" Sir, Kato Kaelin saved your ass, and you went on the world's slowest, car chase. Sir, you should have never written a book, "Well, what if I had done it, maybe possibly could've." Look, I'm not saying that OJ, you should team up with this new, guy who apparently unalived his wife and in-laws from Hollywood, the son of the, executive, but, I mean, you could write the book like, "What if I were smarter?" Just a thought. The Look, you kvetch about it. I'm verklempt, you know, but I'm sure you and your ghostwriter can come up with some sort of craziness for what this man did. But anyhoozle. An O.J. Simpson murder trial prosecutor memorably cited for contempt by the judge in the case after tempers flared during a sidebar over defense attorney Johnny Cochran's cross examination of a police detective is now receiving that since retired judge's support for his own judicial campaign in the Los Angeles County race. So, this is really kind of interesting. Looking back and going kind of through with Legal Vices, you really see how Judge Ito, I think, was not prepared for the sort of media craziness stuff that was gonna go on, and then you had, Johnny Cochran, who I believe, and this is lore, but I believe that he told Christopher Darden, "Do not put, Mark Fuhrman on the stand. We have dirt on him, I would rather, don't do it." Now, whether or not that's true, that has been lore, and, when all of the, not so great testimony came out about Mark Fuhrman, it was not so great. Christopher Darden, who once represented rapper Nipsey Hussle's killer and Ed Buck, among others, is running for a Los Angeles Superior Court judgeship. His campaign website now shows that he's been endorsed by former LA County Superior Court Judge Lance Ito, who retired in 2015. Gosh, I assumed that he just quit right after OJ. Look, that judge looked like dead behind tired. Even at 12 years old, I was like, "This dude is about, like, this." He is Lethal Weapon 73, why the hell is Chris Rock in my movie? Danny Glover done, retired with life at the end of that. So I'm really shocked that he stayed on for so many more years after that, but I I didn't get into law tube, and I didn't even really think about, Judge Lance Ito for years and years after. 20 years after he and Darden faced off in court and apologized to one another during the, quote, "trial of the century" that ended with O.J. Simpson's acquittal in the 1994 murders of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ron Goldman. And I always felt really, really bad that Ron Goldman doesn't get as much, I don't wanna say remembrance, but it was really very kind of sad to me, even as a 12-year-old or 11-year-old at the time, that, Ron Goldman didn't get as many, um, kind of as much attention. I wish he had, because I think that, sadly, it was just a wrong place, wrong time thing, and he was just trying to do something nice for someone who was nice to him at his restaurant. The announcement of Ito's endorsement was made Monday, local CW affiliate KTLA reported. Darden, a veteran deputy district attorney who went on to teach law and worked for decades as a defense lawyer, once got himself into hot water with the very jurist who is now endorsing his qualifications to be a judge. Trial footage from February 23rd, 1995 shows that Ito cited Darden for civil contempt over sidebar comments, leading to a back and forth that was later dramatized. According to the Los Angeles Times account of what was said during the sidebar, Darden bristled that, quote, "dream team lawyer Cochran of 'if it doesn't fit, you must acquit' fame," commented that prosecutors didn't know what they were doing in court. Now, I will say, having Vices go back, and Legal Vices does, I believe, a once a week, and I wanna say it's Monday? Not quite sure. But he does a retro react to the O.J. Simpson thing, and I think there were a lot of missteps from the, prosecution. They didn't understand how to convey the new DNA technology to the jury without someone sounding like Ferris Bueller, so they kind of lost it. He over science-ified things. And then you really did have Johnny Cochran, could had the gift of gab. I mean, he had the best lawyers that you could buy, so it wasn't so much, all of the, like, the prosecutors didn't know what they were doing. It was just, there were a lot of missteps. This was the first trial that was completely televised. I remember people's parents just, like, stuck to the TV. Like, it was full on, like, every day, all day, we are watching this trial. "See, mom, you cannot get mad at me. I know you did this for the OJ thing, so I got it from you. Where did you learn this?" "I learned it from you, mom." Uh, it said, quote, "Is he the only lawyer that knows how to try a case?" Darden angrily asked. After Ito warned Darden that he was going to be held in contempt, Darden answered, "I should be held in contempt." After Darden was warned again, he reiterated his view of Cochran's cross-examination that was out of order. When audio came back, Ito sternly revealed that he had cited Darden for contempt. Quote, "Mr. Darden, let me give you a piece of advice. Take about 3 deep breaths, as I'm going to do, and then contemplate what you're going to say next." Ito began, "I have cited you. Do you have any response?" And since I'm in Brave, I can't play this clip, but I am going to work on that. "I would like counsel, Your Honor," Darden said. "You can have counsel, you have counsel," answered as Darden's fellow prosecutor, Marcia Clark, stepped to the podium to explain her colleague's outburst. Ito saying that Darden, quote, "chose to ignore it in Clark's context surrounding the impetus behind the sidebar comments. Quote, "I'm interested in a contempt proceeding," Ito confirmed before wondering why the prosecution pondered an order to show cause rather than simply saying, "Gee, I'm sorry, I lost my head there. I apologize to the court and I apologize to counsel." After break, Ito clarified that he cited Darden for civil contempt and was ready to handle the matter then and there. Quote, "It has to be adjudicated immediately unless you want to make it criminal contempt and have a jury trial," Ito explained. "Would love to see the voir dire in that case." Ooh, Ito got a little full of himself, didn't he? "Me too," Clark said, laughing. "Can we use the same jury, Your Honor?" "Miss Clark, you know, all levity aside, I have offered you 3 opportunities to end this right now. This is very simple," the judge said. Another sidebar ensued, allowing Darden to review a transcript of what he said earlier. When that was done, Ito got back on the bench, gave Darden an opportunity to speak. Quote, "It appears that the court is correct, and perhaps my comments may have been or are somewhat inappropriate. I apologize to the court, and I meant no disrespect." He's like, "Johnny Cochran, you suck," Darden said, asking Ito if he could hear his concerns about the defense conduct at a later time. "I apologize." Ito accepted the apology and offered one of his own, noting that the two had known each other for a number of years. "Mr. Darden, I accept your apology, and I apologize to you for my reaction as well. You and I have known each other for a number of years. Look, the Hallmark cards that must have gotten sent between these two. Dearest Lance Ito, sorry that I was a dick, but Johnny Cochran was killing my case." I mean, you know, that's what I would have sent. But this is a face for contempt of court, so I am not a lawyer. Because my mouth might not say it, but my face is gonna be all caps, bold, underline, and, in lobster font. Now, more than 28 years later, that show of goodwill will appears to have paid off for Darden, even though that wasn't the last of the then prosecutor's criticism of Ito, going as far as to say, quote, "There was no judge at the O.J. Simpson trial." So, you know, it was a stressful time. They were both a little like I said, this was a cultural phenomenon. There might have been other trials before my time that kind of just wrapped up the entire country, but I swear to goodness, this one was one of the first ones that everyone all over, it just seemed to be everywhere. I mean, I remember when I was a kid and Norm Macdonald kept getting in trouble, and I just thought it was funny, but I love Norm Macdonald. Alright, in another, why in the hell does everything in Australia want to kill you? Story. Stunned beachgoers watch, quote, world's most dangerous bird emerge from ocean video shows. Beachgoers at a campground in Australia were shocked when a large and unpredictable bird emerged from a swim, according to video and wildlife officials. Look, look, I love Australia. It looks beautiful, but every daggone thing there wants to unalive you. Even the cute, cuddly koala has, like, I think the clap, doesn't it? Don't most koalas have chlamydia, or am I making this up, and did I have a fever dream one day and read that? Anyhoozle, let's get into the story. Onlookers spotted a creature swimming toward the Bingle Bay campground on October 31st. The Queensland Department of Environment and Science said in November 13 news release, at first they thought it was a turtle or a shark, but as the animal reached the shore, its identity became clear. It was a juvenile cassowary, and I believe I pronounced that correct. But if not, I'm me. Wildlife officials said cassowaries are a large species of flightless birds found in the rainforests of Queensland and Papua New Guinea. According to the Queensland Department of Environment and Science, they can reach about 6.5 feet tall and about 167 pounds. Yeah, no. I need no helmeted, danger dinosaur bird with a helmet of bone to nope, I need none of that. Where is a cuddly, fluffy thing in Australia that doesn't wanna to kill you? Just ask. The bird has a long, colorful neck, a quote, helmet on his head, and large dagger shaped claws on its toes. Due to their size, strength, and claws, cassowaries are considered, quote, the world's most dangerous bird, according to an article from the Library of Congress. The bird's behavior is also unpredictable, the release said. Cassowaries can swim and will take to the water to cross from one side of the river to another, or if they feel threatened by domestic dogs or other cassowary through a territorial dispute. Stephen Clow, a wildlife officer with the Queensland Department of Environment and Science, said in a release, "We are not sure how long this animal was in the water or why it went for a swim, but the footage is astonishing," he said. The campground's host, Nikita McDowell, filmed the cassowary's unexpected ocean swim, officials said. Video footage was shared on Facebook by 9 News. So let me see. You won't be able to hear the sound, but you can definitely yeah, nope. That is a former dinosaur, and we stay the heck away from those. Now, knowing my youngest, most feral, he would want one as a pet because that's just, you know, holy yeah, Toledo. No. No, large murder birds we don't do. It just floated to shore until it reached the level where its feet could touch the ground, McDowell told the Australian Broadcasting Corps. It must have been exhausted as it stood there in the shade beneath the tree with its legs shaking for about a half an hour, McDowell said in a release. I went to make coffee, and when I returned, it was gone. I knew I wasn't going to have the or it wasn't going to have the energy to attack me or anything. Look, it is lulling you into a false sense of peace. I'm telling you, these woodland creatures are to be respected. I'm just so happy it moved on safe and healthy. It's a rare sighting and a lucky escape by the cassowary, and it's a reminder that we all need to do what we can to protect and conserve the species. The wildlife officer said. There are an estimated 4,000 cassowaries remaining in Queensland, and they face numerous threats to their survival, including habitat loss, vehicle strikes, and domestic dog attacks. Yeah, I could see Fry I could see Fry barking at it and then running to hide behind my skirt. Fry is, he's not the most brave guy. But there you go. Cassowaries add another thing to the list of things that will kill you in Australia. Now, this is important, and it goes along with our squirrel thing, but, if Oreos thinks that they're gonna scam us out of some frosting, you got another thing coming. There are a lot of fluffy people that will stop this shrinkflation. And welcome, Bobby. Oreo fans believe they have uncovered the latest and biggest scandal yet in shrinkflation across customer goods, claiming that the crucial cream to cookie ratio has been quietly shrinking in their favorite snack. You know, it does look those look about like Hydroxes. This is gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly. Louisiana resident Shane Rassinet told the Wall Street Journal he and his wife Christine recently bought a package of Oreos and noticed the twin wafer cookies were sandwiched with just a thin smear of cream. Suspicious, the couple decided to test double stuffed Oreos, which they usually skip for having far too much filling, only to see a familiar looking cookie when they opened the package, according to Rassinet. Yes, for science. They're like, "For science, we need to get the double stuffed Oreos." That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, "I'm just sciencing my way through these entire package of, gingerbread cookies for science." Here we go. That's a regular Oreo, Rassinet 47 told his wife, according to the Journal. 60-year-old Nebraska resident Beverly Cooper also noticed that the cream filling in the double stuffed Oreos were downsized, she told the Journal. It's a sign of the time, Cooper said. It's the way of the world now. Nuh-uh. No, we don't have to take this. We are not going to sit down. We have fat squirrels to emulate. We need uh, Mondelez, the Chicago-based maker of the popular cookie sandwich, told the Journal that it's tried a number of strategies recently to offset the rising costs of cocoa and sugar, such as offering fewer discounts and shrinking package sizes, but the company denied skimping on the cream filling. We would be shooting ourselves in the foot if we started to play around with the quality, Mondelez CEO Dirk van de Put, that is Dirk van de Put, interesting, told the Journal, also blaming possible irregularities on manufacturing at individual cookie plants. Yeah, it's not our fault. It's this random, hinky cookie plant. No idea. Uh, users on social media are skeptical. A forum on Reddit, of course, there's a forum on Reddit. There's a forum on Reddit, and if I could figure that Reddit thing out, I would waste so much more time. Has amassed more than 100,000 users who gripe about their favorite products they claim have been skimping as prices either stayed the same or ticked higher. So let's see. Well, I mean, that looks like my house. I mean, that looks fairly normal. Look, it, I just want, can I do a study? Can the government pay me to do a study of why, when you're on the carnivore diet or something and you can't eat an entire like 4 ounces of, protein and some broccoli, but I can finish off a sleeve of Oreo. I need, that in climate change. I feel like I should get money to study this. Among the top topics of conversation, Oreos. Quote, Oreos have way less cream now, question mark. One user queried alongside a video opening packages of Oreos and splitting the cookie sandwich in half to expose a thin layer of cream described as kind of lame. Yes, less cream. The company should be fined for false advertising. The package photo shows no longer bears any resemblance to the product inside, another Oreo fan commented on the video. Another post on R shrinkflation posted by user, I'm not gonna point out their name, pointed out just how much the family-sized double stuffed package Oreos have shrunk. The older, larger box of beloved cookies said it weighed 566 grams, while the newer, smaller package is only 530 grams per the photo shared to the. Okay, now I'm gonna go on a limb here as a semi-fluffy person who is looking to deflufferate just a little bit. Maybe this is for the good. We were not going to give up Oreos willingly. Maybe this company is trying to help us out because we have no self-control. I'm just throwing it out there, that and shrinkflation. Quote, "It's bad enough all these companies raise prices way above their increased production costs and blame inflation. Now they're selling us even less for the same already inflated prices," the user wrote. Have you heard of inflation? Okie dokie. Quote, "Didn't the cream cover nearly the whole Oreo before?" Another asked alongside of a photo of an Oreo cookie where the circular blob of cream does not fill the entire biscuit. On X, someone called the Oreo shrinkflation scandal, quote, "Cookie Gate." Regular Oreos have equal filling to that of what would be in thin Oreos, and double stuffed have equal filling to that of what used to be in regular Oreos. Rip off. I won't buy Oreos until they fix it. Look, I'm again just throwing out there that, maybe maybe this is a God thing and maybe he's telling us to put the cookies down because we all know that the better cookie is that Samoa knockoff over at Aldi or Aldi, depending on who you ask, or the Aldis, if you ask. The Post has sought comment from the company, the snack giant that's also behind Chips Ahoy, Ritz Crackers, Swedish Fish, and Sour Patch Kids. Though the company has denied tampering with Oreos ratios in the recent year, a New York high school math teacher spearheaded an Oreo fill measuring effort in his classroom to crack the code of how regular double and mega stuffed Oreo cream varied back in 2013. His students found that double stuffed Oreos did not have the 2 times the amount of cream filling, according to the journal, but rather just 1.86 times amount the cream found in regular Oreos. Look, why are we trying to destroy Oreos with math? This is terrible. Corporate giants such as McDonald's and Chipotle have hiked prices to offset higher expense. So basically, look, y'all, everything is getting expensive. I'm not saying to give up Oreos, but, there is an Aldi, and they do have the Samoa knockoff. But if you're trying to be better, we'll all just put the cookies down because it's not like we don't have Christmas coming up soon with all the bad food, okay? We might be on a theme tonight. I don't know why. I didn't plan it this way, but a 40-pound man convicted of slaughtering girlfriend over breadcrumbs in bed, freed due to prison's poor diet. I do not read these articles beforehand, so I am trying to figure out how in the heck he got so upset. And look, it's called having a dust buster next to it, where you just shake the sheets just a little bit. As a person who yeah, I know, it's terrible. A 440-pound Italian man convicted of viciously knifing his girlfriend to, death during an argument over breadcrumbs in bed has been freed from prison after only serving a year due to a court ruling that the high-calorie diet served in the facility would kill him. For the yeah. Yeah, this guy with the Spider-Man shirt, and he seemed very upset. He would yeah, for the love of all that is Cheetos. Dmitry, Frikenko, Sir, I am butchering your name, but you butchered your girlfriend. Not allegedly, you were convicted, so I don't really care right now. From Bellia, Italy, brutally slaughtered 25-year-old Erica Pritti while the pair were vacationing in Sardinia in 2017, stabbing the woman 57 times after she chided him for leaving too many crumbs in their hotel bed. So it wasn't even her eating crackers in bed. Sir, she's pretty, sir. Fricano tipped the scales at 260 in 2019 when he was sentenced to 30 years on a murder conviction, but because of delays caused by the coup, he did not begin serving his term until April 2022. Over the past year, the inmate's weight has ballooned to more than 440 pounds, leading the Turin Surveillance Court to release Fricano from prison on medical grounds. What the actual Schnell? You have got to be kidding me. The court ruled last week that the corpulent convict can no longer prison regime due to his heft, which makes it difficult for him to get around without a wheelchair or crutches. He's also a chain smoker. Sir, you were dating this beautiful woman who got mad at you for leaving all the Cheetos on the bed, the Cheeto dust, and you are over here like, "No, I just got too fluffy for prison." Italy is strange. What the dingle hoppers? Are you kidding me? Fricano's incarceration also puts his life at risk because prison officials are unable to provide the low-calorie diet he needs to shed pounds. You was in prison. You just send him in the low-carb crap. Look, like, y'all, I'm cutting the carbs, and I probably would have a better time if I was in a place where I had no access to Oreos. I'm just throwing out there, you as the prison can send him in frickin' Italy, give him some nice olive oil, a small piece of fish, and call it a day. It's not like he's gonna be able to run. I mean, if he doesn't get cookies, and take away his cigarettes slowly or fastly, because he's a convicted, unaliver. I'm okay with him going, cold turkey on his ass. Yeah, so Francisco will serve out the rest of his sentence under house arrest at his parents' home near Milan, where he can get access to a healthy diet. You have got to be absolutely pooping me on this. I cannot for Italy's just like, "Look, we can't not let him have 3 sloppy joes." Good evening, JKD Buck 60 or 76. The move enraged the victim's family, who slammed the decision to release Fricano as, quote, "shameful." Yes, I agree. Quote, "No one can give me back my little girl, but for us, the pain is still too strong for him to be released so soon," Pretty's father, Fabrizio Pritti, told the Italian newspaper, look, something in Italian. It's like receiving a stab to the heart. Look, you stabulated this beautiful woman 57 times because she told you to not crumb up the bed. Look, I don't wanna do fat on fat crime here, but, sir, as a fluffy American, you need to just cut the BS. You can get yourself a little bit, you know, smaller just by not eating everything. Y You can control what goes in your mouth hole. I don't care. Stay in prison. You don't get to go home to your mommy. Uh, Fricano and Pretty had been vacationing in the town of San Terrado on the island of Sardinia in June 2017 when they got into an argument about his sloppy eating habits. And he chain smoked? Eugh. Fricano claimed that Erica hit him with a paperweight, prompting him to grab a knife. As you do, and I don't buy it for 1 second. I'm sorry, sir, no. Just no. As you do, if someone just happens to throw a paperweight at you, you just grab a knife and go all stabulator. I mean, it might have been the first cardio this man has had for a while, but sir, initially, the man blamed his girlfriend's killing on robbers. Oh my god, did he go full Jodi Arias? It was ninjas. But he eventually admitted his guilt. Quote, "She insulted me for the bread, then hit me in the head, so I killed her." Fricano was quoted as telling the police. Fricano's defense attorney said he suffers from several medical conditions, including anxiety, depressive bulimia syndrome, personality disorder, and sleep apnea. Sir, I am anxious. I am tired. I am generally irritated with people, and I leave all the crumbs in the bed. Mr. Moe has complained many a times, but neither of us have ever knifed anyone. Y'all are Doctors weighed in that Fricano is at high risk for cardiovascular disease. Again, sir, you done stabulated and murdered someone. I really don't care if you are going to need to go on Weight Watchers. My give a damn is busted, sir. I don't care. He needs assistance that cannot be provided at the institution. Look, American prisoners do not get any ideas. This will not be happening over in America. Well, look, y'all, she's not alive. We're gonna be nice. Hello, Haley Wolf. And, uh, you know, because nothing says good American citizen like a tattoo on your face, and this particular face. Look, I'm telling you, Manson lamps just all over the place. 911 call about blood leaking from ceiling leads to discovery of a murder victim in a bathtub who was stabbed and shot. I mean, this man, I he if he came to my door selling a Kirby vacuum, actually, I think he might have tried to sell me a Kirby vacuum. Listen, Kirby vacuum people also cut cone home. Make them not look like they are on their first day out of parole. Because no, you will not be coming into my house to show me anything with this 800-pound vacuum cleaner, okay? I'm gonna need to know where your parole officer is, sir. I'm just saying as a person that would buy a vacuum, do not send out parolee looking people, because no. Eh, you know, every time someone would come to the door, they always looked well, Bobby, you are awesome, but they always looked like they were just, one day out of the clink, and look, I was generally always pregnant and or nursing, so I was not in any mood, to deal with shenanigans. A person in Utica, New York, called 911 on Saturday after seeing what appeared to be blood leaking from their apartment ceiling. See, I would have gone first for, "Oh my god, we're haunted," or what Indian burial ground did they build this on? Because we have got some Stephen King crap going. I love the Brave Little Toaster. My childhood was awesome. They're probably gonna remake it and make it the Brave Little, like, I don't know, waffle maker, and it's gonna be a girl. It's gonna be brave. It's gonna go into the Panderverse. Oh, for the love of God. Okay, squirrels, back on. Officers responded to the apartment and discovered that it was, in fact, blood dripping from the ceiling to the floor, the Utica Police Department said in a press release. Officers went upstairs to the apartment above to conduct a welfare check on the people inside. They knocked and announced themselves, and a man came out covered in blood. All the innocent. I'm sure this man is all the innocent. Covered in blood can be taken many ways. I'm sure his defense attorney will have a wonderful time explaining how that happened. He immediately locked the door behind him and was taken into custody as officers investigated further. When cops entered the apartment, they saw a large pool of blood in what appeared to be an area where something had been dragged through the apartment. Look, this is where you say you are practicing taxidermy and, self reliance. I don't know, sir. The press release said the police then found a deceased man in the bathtub. The major crimes unit and crime scene unit were called to investigate. The victim, who is not being identified until his family can be notified, was, quote, shot several times, stabbed several times, and suffered other injuries during the incident, according to police. The man who cops found covered in blood was identified as 25-year-old Colton Schaefer. He is facing charges of second-degree murder and 2 counts of criminal in possession of a weapon. Additional charges could be forthcoming. Schaefer was taken to the Oneida County Jail. Authorities did not give a motive for the murder nor state the relationship between Schaefer and the victim. According to the New York Department of Corrections, Schaefer spent just over a year in prison for burglary before he was released in 2022. He spent a year on probation and has since been discharged. Y- you know, I I'm just gonna say, y'all, we are not dealing. Wha- You had a bathtub the entire time, but you let him lagger there until it started dripping through the ceiling? I mean, th just laziness. Yeah. He's a bad robbler and murderer. In other Your mom is wanting you to get married. Apparently, they might not be as pushy as China's matchmaking moms and the party, because unfortunately, there has been a lot of kind of push away from family and children in China. And with the one child policy of the past, we are running into many, many, many men and not so many women. So, moms who want to get their daughters married on up have a friend in the Communist Party now. Nothing could go wrong, I'm sure. Chen, this is her last name, she hasn't given her first name, has been on more than 20 blind dates, all set up by her mother. Some of the dates have been worse than others, she said, because she has a condition that most men seem to be unable to accept. She does not want children. Quote, "Having babies is very tiring, and I don't like babies," said Chen, who is in her late 20s and only wanted to share her last name. Quote, "But it's impossible to find a man who doesn't want children. For a man not to have children, it's like killing him." We are getting that much closer to state-sponsored girlfriends, and when the state starts handing out waifus, I am there, y'all. I would like to see everyone get a significant other, state issued. I'm sure nothing could go wrong. Not know what's going on with my internet. I think everyone is trying to use it. Though, despite having a string of unsuccessful date, the pressure to marry has not eased and is making her, quote, nearly explode, she said. But it's not just Chen's parents who want her to marry and have children. As marriage and birth rates plummet, the Chinese Communist Party is encouraging millions of young women and men. Population fell for the first time in 60 years, and its fertility rate dropped to a record low. The number of registered marriages, too, hasn't been this low at 6.83 million since 1986. It's almost like you have a bunch of propaganda telling women that they can wait until their 50s to have children and, put their career first, and unfortunately, biologically, that's not always the truth, but look, I'm just a redhead who mouths off on the internet, I am sure that the Chinese Communist Party knows best. Disheartened by a slowing economy and rising unemployment, young Chinese are also turning away from traditional choices their parents made. The result is a headache for the party and a far from national rejuvenation the country's leader, Xi Jinping, has called for. I don't disagree anymore. Officials don't get the pain. The concern has reached Mr. Z or Xi, who is, president for life, which I'm sure is totally, totally, totally democratic, who recently gave a speech on the need to, quote, cultivate a new culture of marriage and childbearing. Women, go use your wombs. Look, I have done my job. Look, I have done, I have done gone forth and multiplied. Wait, does this mean I could be a star in China? Put a pin in that. Maybe I can start, grifting my way through this whole thing. I'll just be a bastion of fertility and craziness across the world. Have more children. Chaos. Chaos is beautiful. Oh, no. Mr. Mo and I have been spayed and neutered as per Bob Barker's orders, and if number 7 were to unmiraculously happen, it would be look, y'all would hear distant screaming and some sort of ripple in the force, because Mr. Moog broke out in hives when we found out about Griffin, so I can only imagine, 7 having no, no. I am already no. I'm out of the diapers, I will do grandchildren, I am out of that phase. Uh, it's not that Chinese officials have not been trying. Across the country, bureaucrats have mobilized incentives for young people to get married. Yeah, nothing says romance like bureaucrats. Nothing says, romance and love and marriage and childbearing like bureaucrats of the Chinese Communist Party. Earlier this year, a small town in like some sort of province would offer couples 1,000 yen or won. No, it's won. So $137 or 108 pounds as a reward if the bride was 25 years or younger. Look, if you're an old bride like me, you get like $6. They're like, "Sir, look, she's got some miles on her. She has all her own teeth, but, she's a little old." Yes, same. It stunned, then angered locals who called the local government tone deaf, assuming that such a small amount of money would have an impact on such a major decision. Elsewhere, officials have insisted on a 30-day cooling off period for couples seeking separation or divorce. This has led to concerns about how it would restrict personal choices. Y'all are in communist daggone China. I don't know that personal choices. I mean, have we seen the Uyghurs? I don't think personal choices is your main problem here, but go ahead and explain. In rural areas where more and more single men are struggling to find a bride, authorities have ordered women to stop asking for high bride prices, a sum paid by a prospective groom or his parents to the family of his wife to be to demonstrate his commitment. Wait a minute. I did not receive bride price gifts. Telling Mr. Mo I'm retroactively buying stuff for his bride price. Oh, he's gonna be like, "You already buy all the stuff. I don't know what you're talking about." Like other incentives, this one won't work either, says economist, Lee something. Even without bride prices, men are still competing for a bride, he said, so there could be other ways to compete, like houses, cars, or just better looks. You mean there's In a sexually dimorphic species, there's competition between the sexes for partners of worth? I am learning all the new things tonight. Experts say that overwhelmingly male Chinese leadership cannot possibly understand what's driving these choices for young people, especially women. Have they seen the new Marvel movie? Maybe that'll help them. I hear it has a lot of cats. China's highest decision-making group, the party's 7-member, Politburo Standing Committee, is only comprised of men for decades. A leadership rung just below it has more than 20 seats, and it included a lone woman for the last 2 decades until last October. Now there are no women in it. Again, I don't think that's the problem. Efforts of these men and all men below them are often seen as out of touch and even superficial, often attracting ridicule online. The officials in the government basically have all the wives, said Mr. Lee. They don't get this pain. Experts believe that Chinese singles population is made up of two unmatchable groups, urban women and rural men. Rural men are battling complex or economic expectations such as high bride prices and secure jobs that can support a family. And this in turn seems to be empowering women in rural areas to take more time in choosing a partner. When I went home for Chinese New Year, I felt awesome being a woman in rural China's marriage market, said 28-year-old Kathy Tane, who works in Shanghai. She said she was worried she'd be considered a bit old in the northern province where women usually get married by the time they turn 22, but she found the opposite to be true. Look, y'all, just go to Alaska if you want to find a dude, because apparently I have no idea. I would think you would just find someone to get you out of communist China, but I do not know. I don't need to provide anything, but the man needs to have a house, a car, an engagement ceremony, as well as pay a bride price. I felt like I'm at the top of this marriage market. Oh, dear God. No. No. So we're making it impossible for men to be providers, and we've made women the breadwinners. This is gonna turn out really well. Urban women, on the other hand, say what troubles them is the widening gap between how they view marriage and how the rest of society views it. Quote, "There's no anxiety inside of me," says Chen. "My anxiety comes from outside." Unlike her parents' generation, when life was a challenge and love was a luxury, people and women have more options now, she says. Our idea now is it's okay not to have babies, and it's no longer a task that we must complete. Women also note, like the world around them, the government's campaign focuses on women and overlook men's responsibilities as partners. And the unequal expectations are driving them away from the idea of being a parent. Look, you guys, parenthood is messy and chaotic and the most wonderful, impressive, and crazy journey that you will ever go on. It but it's yeah, it's work. I don't know what to tell you. It's messy, it's crazy, it's chaotic, it's rewarding, it helps you grow into a more patient person, but yeah, it's not all roses and that wonderful oh gosh, what is it? There's that special laundry soap that they have for baby clothes, Dreft. Oh my gosh, that smell. Look, you put that smell around a woman, the baby alarm is gonna go all around. We are gonna get baby fever until we remember how much they wake up in the middle of the night, and then we're like, "This is a very cute baby, go back to your mother." Chen says this is also part of the reason, that she doesn't want children watching her friend be a parent. Quote, "Her second child is very naughty. I really feel that every time I go to her house, it will explode and the ceiling will be torn down." Look, as a parent of one of those children that might or might not be related to the Tasmanian devil, We try. We try our best. In China, raising your kids as if your spouse has died has become a common phrase among young mothers, meaning husbands are not doing chores or sharing the job of being a parent. Quote, all the married men I know think their responsibility in the family is just to earn money, said a 33-year-old data scientist who did not want to reveal her name. Quote, mothers feel guilty for not being with their children, and they think it's not right to stay out late, but fathers never have such guilt. Right. So, apparently look, I am just a redhead who says things on the internets, but these are conversations you should have early in your relationship. Like, what do you expect? And, "Hey, I'm struggling here." And look, I'm not gonna say I'm perfect because I will call Mr. Mo and in the most smart ass and and, sassy way possible, I will tell him, "Hey, I looked at the Whirlpool manual for the dishwasher, and nowhere in there did it say that you needed a uterus to work it, so someone better help me with the daggone dishes, or Samuel L. Jackson, mommy and wife, is gonna come out." So, again, these are all expectations. I don't know if this is a cultural thing for Chinese families, for the father to basically be there to provide and the mother to do all of the child work. But it seems like the women are demanding more, and the men are either going to step up to the plate or they're all going to be single. Look, it's a give and take thing. I love that guy. But yeah, I will call him, and instead of being, maybe forthright with what I want, I'll just be like, I looked at the wash machine manual and I read the whole thing through, and nowhere did it say you have to have lady bits to operate the damn thing. So someone better get here and start doing some damned laundry too." But in recap, look, the squirrels are just they're just a little bit fluffier this year. It's not their fault. They've got, it's been a unseasonably warm fall, and they are just making sure that they will get all the way through the winter, and I'm okay with it because if you're too fat to get into my engine block, that is all the better for me. Judge Lance Ito has given his, approval and endorsement to, Christopher Darden for his new judgeship. So seems that Judge Lancito, even though he retired, has put his endorsement behind Christopher Darden as a new LA district attorney, or not, or district judge that he's running in his case. So who knows? Um, yes, only 9 bajillion other things will try to kill you in Australia, including this bird, a cassowary, which looks like a dinosaur with a helmet of bone coming out of its head. Again, I love you Australians, and I would love to live there, but every daggone thing is either related to a dinosaur or wants to unalive you. I do not know. Um, I will have to send him this news story. In other news, don't try to hustle us. Apparently Oreos are trying to get away with having a little bit less cream filling on the inside, and you know what? As a person that has very little self-control, I'm just saying maybe they're doing a good thing for us, but really, we all know that the knockoff Samoas at Aldi or Aldi the Aldis are much better, so skip those Oreos and go get you some fake Samoas. Unless you're trying to be better, then don't do that and, go for the broccoli, or I don't know, make some kale or who the hell knows. And, this dinglebar, this absolute dill hole decided to eat bread in bed, and then when his girlfriend got upset with him, he decided to stabulate her, but now he is too fluffy for prison. And look, as I don't wanna commit fluffy on fluffy crime, but sir, There is no reason you need to come out of prison because you are 440 pounds. That prison can just cut your serving size in half and cut your cigarettes in half, and you're in prison. I don't know if someone didn't give you the memo, but they can tell you no and stuff, but apparently not in Italy. Apparently, in Italy, if you just get too fluffy, you can just leave the hell and go home where your mother can take care of you again, I guess. I don't know. I think it's stupid because this man is a dingleberry. This, lovely man apparently unalived someone in his apartment, left the body bleeding out so long on the floor that it started dripping from the ceiling of the lower apartment. I y'all just Imma need you y and then he put the body in the bathtub, but not before it had started raining, body fluids down from above, for the love of all that is holy. I can't. Um, he just looks like a guy that should not be a Walmart greeter at all. And apparently in China, people don't wanna get married. I don't know. Look, marriage is not always fun, but it's nice to have someone there that I can annoy all the time and send random Nancy Pelosi pictures to. Besides, he gets me most of the time, and we both want the big Lego sets, but we have no time or space to put them yet. But we have a dream of having the big Star Wars Lego sets. So, some women want flowers, some women want Hallmark movies. He's like, "Babe, I how about the Death Star Legos?" And I was like, "I have never loved you more in my entire life." Throw in the Rivendell set, and of course, then I call him and I'm a smart ass about the wash machine, so he's stuck with me. But those are the news stories tonight. It went a little bit long. I did put this up on Rumble, so I am Mo in the deep on Rumble, and, hopefully I figured this out correctly, and if not, look, I am fumbling towards purgatory of being just semi-competent on StreamYard. So I tried, but I am going to try to get more stuff put for on Rumble and try to grow a presence there. I'm sounding like a real influencer. I love the Slayton sisters. If you ever feel a little too hill-juck for your own good and you just need to feel just a tiny bit better about yourself, 1,000-pound sisters, you will feel high class and bougie by the end of it, even if you live on, Pabst Blue Ribbon and you have, great value dreams from Walmart. But that is the Newsy News tonight. I will see you in the morning for Mornings with Mo and Fry, and we will do the noon, and, I will try to pick up some stuff on Delphi, and I know there is a new case, left dead in a ditch, so I wanna see if what that one looked like because I know they started this afternoon. See what that one's about. Maybe it's something we can sink our teeth into. If not, this week will be all about getting some new stuff going for Newsy News and having a Walmart segment and all sorts of fun stuff. So, I am semi working on stuff. Thank you so much, mods, and everyone who came out, and the person that's watching on Rumble. You know what? JKD Buck. It's on along the same lines, but I basically when I had the talk with both of my girls, I said, "Look, if you are not comfortable enough to pass wind around this person, you in no way are ready to get naked." Now, we were all very, very embarrassed about the whole thing, but I basically said, "If you're not gonna fart in front of someone, you are not ready to do any nakedness stuff." So there you go. I love great minds think alike. Yes, marry someone that has the sense of humor of a 12-year-old. Have a great evening, and I think, MG Law is coming up next, or someone. I will learn how to redirect y'all. I know how to do it. My Rumble channel is Mo in the Deep, and it's all one word. I had a earlier Rumble channel I had to cancel because I never thought I was gonna get into streaming. Well, there you go. I tell your wife, tell your family, get it on a T-shirt. This is a banner day. Mark it on your calendars. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I will see you guys in the morning with some more newsy news, and hopefully we have some good stuff to go over. Bye, guys.